Welcome back, Tribe. I have an episode here from Insolent Audits. Let's get into it. Hitting walls and coping.
If you're dating in your 30s, you have three options, okay? Number one is a 22-year-old that's got mommy issues that thinks he's God's gift to earth. No, thank you. Number two is the 30-year-old, same age as you, that is so traumatized from his past relationship that he ain't got to give. So what's the point in that? And number three, you've got your 40 to 50-year-old men that you think, oh, maybe they have their together, they know what they want. No, because they're so traumatized from their divorce because their ex-wife cheated on them that they're out partying like they're 18.
So wouldn't that make sense to apply the same logic to older women? So if older people the more traumatized they'll get from their bad past experience, doesn't that apply to women too? So aren't men correct in wanting to date younger women who haven't had a trail of D's in their history and the 1,000-cock stare and are more friendly, more feminine, more nurturing because they haven't been broken by Chads and Tyrones? I don't know. Do you ever think in your brain how this might apply to the other side too?
Again, I quit.
Wow, out of all the choices, this obviously informed Queen has broken men down into 3 selections for the recent wall-smashing princess to choose from. Let's use her own numbers. 1, the 22-year-old with mommy issues. Okay, I guess someone over 30 just told the internet she was a cougar on the prowl. Isn't it funny how women in this same age group use shaming language on men who date younger women? 2, 30-year-old who is so traumatized he has nothing to give. Allow me to translate that from womanese. He got divorced not too long ago, lost half of everything he had. He is very defensive of what he has left and what he is rebuilding. There is a low chance you can get a big payout on divorce now that he is experienced. To my viewers, tell me in the comments.
Now, my take on that 30-year-old with nothing to give is she's talking about emotionally unavailable. That guy has a good career, good potential. She wants to lock him down. He's been smart enough not to settle and knows not to settle for an older woman like her. That's what she means. Got nothing to give. She couldn't secure his commitment. That's all it is. That older 40-year-old dude that she talked about, the last one, that's the one that was divorced, where she specifically mentions because they were divorced, they're so traumatized that those guys have checked out completely and now just playing the field for fun. So yeah, the 30-something-year-old guy, that's the prime grade A. The dude's hitting it. That's the prime grade A. Dude's hitting his stride. He's got the right combination of experience, still young, career's doing well. He's about to be financially free if he isn't already. His future is bright. But he knows that. He knows his value. And the discrepancy there is, why as a 30-year-old man do you want an over 30-year-old woman when you could just get 24, 25, 22, 23? Not a problem. And those younger women in the earlier 20s, mid-20s, all want a man that's 30 or older anyway, that's established, that's more mature. They tell us this all the time. They don't like dating young guys because can't do nothing for me, can't facilitate any dreams, isn't experienced, doesn't know what it is to be a man, is not his own boss, yada, yada, yada.
A quick question. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not the coffee shops. I've been trying that. For a while now. Definitely not the bars. Not at my age, because they're all like 21, 22. So they definitely don't want to be in a relationship. And I definitely do not want to be a cougar. Nothing wrong with that. Just not my type. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me.
See?
I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship. Even they are still figuring things out.
Well, they're figuring things out with you, as in figuring out how long you'll stay till I find something worthy of marrying. You're in your 30s. There's nothing to figure out. You're just an easy layup. There's not much resistance here. You already know the deal. You're dragging this along, which is fine by me, because the more you push, the faster I'll go away. So you keep coming over, you keep giving in, hoping that I'll get serious, which I never will, because I have other prospects that are 22, 23, 24, and those are the ones I'm looking at for a long-term relationship, marriage potential. That's what it is, dude. A guy knows. This is BS. She's getting fed BS, but, women haven't been taught this stuff. Grandma used to teach you that you don't give anything up to a man until he shows you commitment, until he's serious long-term about you. She's experiencing the exact opposite. The only girl game they've gotten today is how to be sexually suggestive, show more skin than needed, and just look easy. And so men are treating them just like that.
Yeah, they are. So where are we meeting the ones that want to date and be in a relationship. That
Your
want to
time's
date
up.
to eventually get into a relationship. That are dating to see if we're compatible for a relationship, not other things. No. I need to know because I have yet to find them. And I've been looking, so maybe I should stop looking. I don't know. But if you know, please let me know. Help your girl out. Where are we meeting the good men? Where are we meeting the men that actually want to be in a real relationship? Let me know.
Dang, fam.
You were meeting them about 10 years ago. That's when you were meeting them. And time has passed, and now you will deal with the consequences of your actions. So if you still want a man to take you under his wing and take care of you, you're going to have to look up into the 50s plus, 60-year-olds that would do okay with a 30-year-old chick. That's about where you should be angling from. The 30, 40-year-olds, nope.
Women hitting the wall need to do tactics. Men, you can't say no woman hit the wall because you know what? Y'all don't even have money. Like, women can hit the wall all day and still be too good for you. Okay? Like, I don't understand this. Oh, she hit the wall. She's over 30. Okay, but you can't even afford to date someone your own age. Well, you can't even impress a 30-year-old. You can't even impress a woman that's hit the wall. That's sad. A woman that hit the wall and you still can't impress her. That's pretty bad. Okay.
If you're the specific dude she's talking about, she is actually right on that. If you're 30 plus years old as a dude and your life isn't together and you're dead broke and you can hardly afford to feed yourself, yeah, that's a sad state to be in. But if you have everything together, her point falls apart because they're no longer in the same pool that you're looking for in a potential mate. But of course, she has to do the comeback of you're an absolute garbage, dumpster level, lowest of the low kind of man. Because obviously that's the only one that would not be able to get on the radar of a 30-year-old woman.
Okay.
Technically true though.
That's sad. I wouldn't even say you hit the wall if I can't even impress you.
But who the hell takes a guy like that serious anyway?
Y'all hit the wall. At least we got a wall. We don't share one with a next door neighbor. Okay, how you doing? At least our wall is in our name, baby. Not in our mama name.
Damn, she has experience with a certain kind of man. You could tell he's hurt. It's probably his kid back there.
At least we could put nails in our wall without having to lose the deposit fee. Okay? At least our walls ain't got roaches inside of it.
Damn, you were swimming in the low lows. What kind of man you been dating?
I know y'all love when I troll y'all.
Finding a relationship after 30 is probably one of the best life hacks. Obviously on paper, yeah, it'd be nice to find your partner in your 20s and build that life together while you're building your careers and following your dreams and all that stuff. But that's just not the reality for some people. Many of my close friends did not find their partners until their 30s, some of them even their 40s. And they are living their best lives. Because let's be real, like in your 20s, you are stupid and you make stupid decisions like I did when I married my ex-husband at 23 years old. But in your 30s, you are so much smarter. You put up with so much less. You know what you want. You've figured out where you want to go in life and you're going to find a partner that's following that dream and that pathway with you. And I'm sure you are amazing. And if you're single and amazing, there's also going to be other single amazing people out there. Or maybe they're just one divorce away from being available. I'm joking, but not really. But my advice is don't compare yourself to other people and their timelines because you have your own journey and your own timeline and life is not linear. My advice from what I've seen with a lot of my friends in their 30s and 40s dating is continue to live your best life, be your best self, and the right person is going to follow along and want to join you for the ride. If you're still single in your 30s, it means you haven't settled for the wrong person, and that's a win in my book.
One divorce away from being available. Yeah, this isn't surprising as to one of the reasons women constantly feed into the 70% plus divorce rate, aka hypergamy. Also, they're Kawain. Just because a woman gets remarried in her 40s, that's not a long-term W. As statistically speaking, second marriages have a higher divorce rate than the first marriage at about 60%, aka my second husband was just as toxic as my first husband, and I, the innocent middle-aged woman who put in for the divorce, needed needs to find the right man because I deserve it phase. And the line this queen made of, if you're still single in your 30s, it means you haven't settled for the wrong person, and that's a win in my book.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Really, that's like telling the Cleveland Browns fans, if your team hasn't been to the Super Bowl yet, it's because they aren't settling for the wrong championship year, and that's a win in my book. Ouch. Too soon, maybe? Anyway, this video is just a bit short of another injection of copium to those recently post-wall smashed single ladies. Okay, to my female viewers, you can continue to listen to this kind of dribble and tank all that Kool-Aid all you want. Or you could accept this gorilla's advice. Maybe. Here goes. In your early 30s, you have a few disadvantages competing with women in their 20s. We're clear on that. I advise you concentrate on playing to your strengths against women in their 40s. Play the long game as in the rest of your life, not your ditzy feels of how awesome this week's energy is based on horoscope reads. If a man 10 years older can give you 80% of what you need, then why bother taking an L with anyone else? Your fifis change on the daily. He is going to be the rock that will be there for the long run. Either that or get back to Chad/Tyrone's roster. Moving on.
I'm going to start a conversation that's going to spark a lot of controversy, specifically with middle-aged men and middle-aged male podcasters, but I'm over it. I am so sick of seeing middle-aged, washed up, promiscuous, ex-boys, divorcees / baby daddies online yammering on about body count. The conversation of body count is reserved specifically for young, successful, virtuous, well-intended men seeking a wife who is young and virtuous as well. The fact that a lot of you men spent an entire lifetime damaging and degrading your target marital demographic only to turn around and condemn them, and then furthermore feel entitled.
Why the assumption that they were all angels? The only women that give it up and partake in that kind of lifestyle were already Jezebels. What are you talking about? Target marriage demographic. We treat women in two boxes: fun girl, serious girl. We're just having fun with the fun girls. That's what happens when men are hooking up with these chicks. Very rarely do you treat the serious girl as a fun girl, because the serious girl is very rare. And when you do find one, you want to hold on to her. Men actually look for serious girls. They're struggling to find them. Every woman portrays herself as the fun chick today. The way she dresses, the way she talks, the way she acts, how her Instagram page is set up, OnlyFans links, all the nightclubs and bars and yachts and trips, and every part of her lifestyle essentially tells you, I'm the fun chick. Use me.
Entitled to one that does not belong to you is absurd. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I actually feel like I'm in the twilight zone, because contrary to legalities and way of equality for men and women, we're still very much in a patriarch. And it was the patriarch that up and decided sex sells, and that's what they did. They sold sex to their women and children so they could comfortably exploit women's for their.
So the patriarchy did that. So explain to me on why women sexualize every single space that they get into. I have a perfect example. Twitch. When Twitch started, it was simply video games. There was a bunch of dudes playing video games, and you either had an incredible personality or you had incredible talent. And that's how you gained viewership. Then chicks saw an opportunity and tried to become gamer girls or e-girls. And then they started playing video games too. Nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't based on your personality or how good you were at the game. A vast majority of them suck. I still think they all suck. I don't know if somebody in the comments can tell me, is there genuinely like really good elite level player that's a chick? Because most of them have a push-up bra on, showing their assets, or it has so far degenerated into hot tub meta, where forget video games, we're going to completely commodify ourselves, get into a hot tub in a bikini, throw around some inflated balls and read chats. Men forced you to do that? You couldn't compete with the men just playing video games. You had to sexualize the entire website. Ridiculous.
Their own entertainment, and here we are.
She's going to sink, Captain.
Oh my God, dude. Bozos.
But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
This queen puts a video out where she is very passionate about older men having standards about body count. Why would any woman be so obsessed about a man's body count preference unless, him, bodies. A good friend of hers is hurt by that. It obviously has to be that. Okay, let me try to explain this to those women out there who are bothered by this. In a way, it could be accepted as more probable reasoning. Ladies, just like a good portion of you refuse to ever given a Dusty a chance, well, for most men, a woman with a high body count is considered a female Dusty. According to Urban Dictionary, the definition of a Dusty, link in the description, a broke player, typically a male, who has nothing to offer but S followed by an X, usually a user. This type may appear to be what society deems successful but targets the vulnerable and likes to exploit womanism and pick-me's, willing to go Dutch, 50-50, etc. They often look good on paper, but if you pay close attention, their game unravels quickly. Willing to accept they're nothing but trouble, avoid at all cost. End definition. Well, in that mindset, a woman who has a high body count that can be considered thought levels is widely accepted as a Dusty by most men. Kind of like they don't want to pay top dollar for tires with little traction left to them.
Damn! It has been normalized because it's just spoon-fed to us on a daily basis. Cool, we can't undo it. It's primal, we're all kind of drawn to it. We don't need to make it taboo, but you guys do. And to me, it's not about innies or outies or keys or master locks anymore. It's just weird. Because if you're participating in sexual activity, what are you expecting? Either you're all going to run through the exact same women or each other. Activity does not exist without women's participation. So how did you normalize it and then condemn them for it? I'm not following. And moreover, how do you question a woman's integrity or morality when she's participating in the same activity you initiated and exploited, but she's doing it responsibly? If she's not contracting STDs or having unwanted pregnancies, she doesn't have to lie or hurt anybody. Why do you feel the number of participants is information you should be privy to, or further, judge her on? Outside of the conundrum, it is the...
Because if we're going to talk about building a future together, I, as a man, need to be able to base something, a predictor of sorts, on how you will behave in the future. What's one of the best predictors? Past behaviors can dictate how a person will behave in the future. So men put the onus squarely on that. Just like a woman won't waste her time on a broke man, because when she's looking for a life to build in the future with somebody, she needs to know right now in this moment that the man has charisma, money, salary, the ability to facilitate a luxurious lifestyle, not only for you, but for the kids. So the same way that you look at a man's ability in the present in order to predict successful futures, men can only base past behavior to predict successful behaviors with you. Because you as a woman can give out your body to any man will say yes. So we have to look at it from a virtuous point of view, from a self-control point of view, from a disciplinary point of view. Do you have the discipline to say no, to not engage in any of this, to withhold yourself for only men that are truly interested in you, like potential husband? Or do you give it away willy-nilly and get used and played by every single guy and then turn bitter? Likewise, you look at a man, you're not hopeful on a guy that's telling you, baby, just give me a few years, I'll become a millionaire. I got so many ideas in my head, I promise. And he can't even afford a car. He lives with his parents. It's the same thing. You need to see results now in order to predict the future. Does he have money now? Is he in school to be a doctor? Has he started a business? Is it generating massive income? Is this guy upgrading my life? A man looks at you in similar fashion. Has she been loose with every other guy? Will she be loose with every other guy in the future? Probabilistically speaking, yeah, if she was in the past. Did she do drugs? Was she addicted to heroin in the past? What's the probability that she may relapse and do heroin again? It sure as hell isn't 0%. I don't want to deal with a past heroin addict because it may happen again. They may relapse. Likewise, I don't want to deal with the past loose woman because it may happen again during my marriage. I'd rather take the person that's never tried hard drugs because they'll never get into hard drugs or very unlikely to get into hard drugs. The person that's never done hard drugs, the percentage, the probability of them ever picking up hard drugs compared to the person that used to be an addict and relapsing is astounding. That That same line of thinking falls for a woman with a checkered past and a woman without one. That's it.
The audacity to condemn the demographic you spent an entire lifetime degrading, and then furthermore feeling entitled to one that is untainted, while there are men who are actually capable of not only loving them but not.
But wait, there's more.
Is insane. Like, nobody wants to be your wife. The best shot you have at finding love is finding a middle-aged woman who's desperate and brainwashed enough to believe that you're the best she can find. But you guys come.
A middle-aged woman is now brainwashed, but the previous video said how it's freeing to be a middle-aged woman where you've gained all this insight and knowledge and experience so you can make the right decision and pick the correct man and not be dumb and young. Do you see what I mean? Get your passport, leave. There is no point having a conversation with these people. She believes this wholeheartedly. She thinks she's right. There's anger and emotion in her argument, no logic. Don't waste your time arguing with these people. You will not get results. She will continue to age. She will continue to be bitter that her body count is a inquiry every single man will have. She's gotten passed up by all the high quality men. The only one she's able to get is quite literally the gaslighting, the projection that she's doing. Low quality, middle age or older, got nothing going for them, damaged, broken dudes. This is her projecting because that's what's really knocking on her door every day in terms of prospects. Not much. Because when she was 20, 21, 22, she had all the options laid out in front of her. But she waited because she had time. Or she tried to bag the dude that was way out of her range, like a ball player, an athlete, a musician, something. Guys already that are red flags and known not to settle down or just having fun. Maybe I can change him. I can tame this one. That's the fantasy that they all play in their head when they deal with these bad boys that give them the fee-fees. I'm going to be the one that changes him. No, you're not. You're just going to be another one that gets used, pumped and dumped. Your phone number not even saved in his phone. You're like the state or the city. You're Miss Phoenix, Miss LA, Miss Atlanta, or even less, Miss Tucson. You're not even the capital of the state. You're just like the boony town girl, the chick on 7th Street, girl I met at bar. It's ridiculous, man.
Coming in middle age with multiple kids by multiple different women, some of which you don't even see. No history of ever holding a household together, but a reputation for being an avid cheater, expecting yourself to be considered the prize. Sir, you're not.
You see, like that description she just used, imagine she was talking about a woman. I'm telling you, it's perfect projection.
Even a participation award. You are a life sentence of drama, stress, and heartbreak. You and all your baby mamas, your child support, your reputation, the revolving door of exes and side pieces sporadically popping up to see if you're ready to be unfaithful again. The women you degraded and disposed of, lurking and constantly gossiping about your decisions. Your own friends and family perplexed as to how you got a decent woman to even give you the time of day. And then you sprinkle on top the habits you've developed from outwardly disrespecting, degrading, and disposing of women for decades while completely being unchecked. And you think you're the prize. You think you're entitled to a high quality, young, virtuous woman.
Who hurt you?
You know, if I was a cynical leaning gorilla, I may actually believe that a possible interpretation to the fervor behind this Queen's speech could be that she might be expressing discomfort from investing time and emotional effort to try and lock down an older HVM who is...
What's the comment say? Spent an entire lifetime degrading. Accountability is kryptonite. 41-year-old man, no children, no previous marriages, no internet cry videos. The videos of these women rationalizing and preaching only reassures me that I've dodged all kinds of bullets and labels. It's so great to have a big property, house, bunch of vehicles, full autonomy, no debt, to be able to work when one wants, travel whenever and wherever. Why young women would ever want to struggle in life instead of picking the right man is truly fascinating. The masculine energy is unreal. Holy beep, the body count lady was extremely bitter about hers, of course. Oh, Sprinkle, that's the Sprinkle chick. Says Sprinkle lady was sharing her man, who was married at the time, with a wife and another woman. She married the cheater, who she openly describes as a simping loser. Other women Googled her address, and all this dating for money is not something she followed herself. Women follow her like it's something fantastic. She wants other women to follow her lifestyle, and women unsurprisingly do because the herd will follow anything and anybody. It just confirms women date and marry for money over everything else. Indeedy. Older guy here. Again, when an older guy says, I'm still figuring things out, it's just him being nice. What he's really thinking is, there is not a snowball's chance in Hades. I'm going to gamble my life on a modern woman. Specifically you. Says woman in the white ranting about body count seems to think men can just choose to sleep with them. Like you let men run through you for a decade and then blame the men for degrading and corrupting you? Accountability, find some. And then funny question here. If all those men are traumatized by previous relationships, then who is doing the traumatizing upon them? Good question. Very good question there. Those insolent audits. Let me know what you guys think. See you on the next one. Take care, everybody.